So we're here dressed in our gold and white because tonight is Princess' second formal night, which is a gold and white night, their celebration. So we just finished having dinner in the main dining room, and we thought we'd come out and chat with all of you guys before we join the party and the fun inside the ship.
Actually, truth be known, there is a Neil Diamond impersonator going on right now in the main theater.
Yes, there is.
And someone didn't want to hear that song again, so we're avoiding that.
I think if you followed along enough, you know that I said the only time I want to hear that song again is if it's actually Neil Diamond singing it. But this might be a close second, I don't know. But the first showing is starting right now. There is a second showing if we feel like we want to join into that, but I don't know. And then the other scheduled entertainment for tonight is my next most not favorite thing is a magician show in the Vista Lounge. So I'm not sure if we're going to do that either, but it is supposed to be a magician / comedian show, so we might check that out. Anyways,
so a little bit of an update as to where we're standing and what's going on right here. For those that don't know the area, I'll give you a little bit of a geography update as to where we are right now.
Geography.
So off behind us in this area here, we are live. So at any moment you could hear a ferry go by or anything could happen in the background.
We just had a ferry dock beside us a minute ago.
Yep, and since we don't have our internal mics working properly, since it didn't work, you'll have to just, hopefully there's no wind noise, but we're tucked away in the corner. We're actually on the 7th deck on the aft of the Enchanted Princess right now.
We are.
In Messina and in Sicily. So over here is Messina, the downtown is right behind us. And
the church is up there.
On my left off in the distance there is mainland Italy. We can actually see the lights on mainland Italy right now as well. So that's where we are. We are actually here about 12 hours earlier than expected. So we had a bumpy ride. We're going to talk about what happened with us with the cancellations and the weather so far. But because of those complications, we do believe that the captain decided to get us here earlier so we could be in Messina tonight. We're going to stay tied to the dock tonight and here all day tomorrow. So it's a little bit of a bonus because we weren't supposed to be here till tomorrow. But part of the reason for that is we're expected to get more weather tomorrow, lots more wind coming into the Mediterranean. So
he was afraid, what he said on his announcement last night was he was afraid that if he didn't try to get us here earlier, that he would not be able to get in and dock tomorrow morning.
So that's the plan. So far our cruise, you all probably want to know how it went. I'll talk about the weather part since that's my deal. So there was a big system that swept across Europe, mostly towards mainland Europe, towards the northern part of Italy, which is exactly where we started out this cruise. We successfully made it into Toulon, France. We then made it successfully into Genova, Italy.
Yes.
Those 2 days went really fine.
Beautiful.
Then bad things started happening later on that night when the winds picked up and the weather started turning for more stormy, wavy, windy weather. And the captain came on, that night, just as we were in the main theater, I believe it was, we got an announcement saying that we weren't getting into Livorno for Florence, which is very disappointing to us because we wanted to go to Florence again. We loved it last year.
Loved it. Yeah, loved it.
And so the plan was, since Livorno was a little more complicated to get into, he thought he could get into the sheltered harbor of La Spezia.
Right.
And he did make an attempt. At 7 o'clock the next morning as we were lying in bed, an announcement came out saying that we were not going to even make an attempt, that the winds were supposed to get extremely strong later that day. And the captain, who is his rank is Commodore Nick Nash is his name.
Yes.
And he decided that he wasn't going to take us in there, and instead we were going to go out to sea and be safe out at sea with the big winds. There had to be at least 10 to 15 foot waves. The winds were gusting at time over 50, 65 knots. That's over 100 kilometers per hour. So it was windy.
It was.
To the captain's credit and to Princess's credit, we were all kept safe, which is the important thing. And the ship rides like a dream through the heavy weather.
Yeah, I mean, we have been on some rough seas and apparently it was bad, but we really didn't feel it. Now, in saying that, our cabin is located mid-ship and we're on deck 8, so that's relatively low and really can't feel the movement at all from our cabin. We have felt it a little bit when we're maybe in the theater or in the aft Vista Lounge, but yeah, it sailed through that stormy weather really smoothly in our opinion anyways. So
yeah, so
that's our update.
So that's the update on that part. Little did we know that was not going to be the last of our weather problems.
No.
We headed down the west side of Italy, we made the turn, and we had planned, there was supposed to be 2 days at sea, so now we had the earlier day at sea because we couldn't get into Livorno or La Spezia, so we had 3 days at sea to get over to Kotor in Montenegro. And then We are heading towards Kotor, and again, that dreaded noise at 7 o'clock in the morning, and the captain comes on.
Every time I hear ding, ding, ding at 7 in the morning, I go, uh-oh, this isn't a good sign.
And the captain comes on and says, sorry, we're not going to get into Kotor. The weather wasn't too bad at 7 in the morning, but there was a strong front coming through, another weather system coming through. It actually kind of caught up to us from where it was a couple days before. And they were afraid that we would be trapped in the little series of bays and inlets that is Montenegro and Kotor. And so the decision was made that we were going to not even get into trouble. There was a quick stop at a place called Sabrina, where the captain had to exchange 30 crew for what he called EU passport, compliances. And once we had the the crew exchange, then all of a sudden we were back out, and we headed back out to sea once again to avoid the weather. So that made it 4 sea days in a row.
Yeah. So at this point, we thought we were probably going to end up in Fort Lauderdale by the time we saw land, because we thought maybe they didn't tell us and our itinerary changed and we're doing a transatlantic sailing.
So finally the next day arrived, and we showed up to Corfu, Greece. And that was successful. The sun was out, the wind was down, and we made it in there. And the captain showed up to the captain's event in the Vista Lounge, I think very afraid, because he did say a couple times on the PA system, don't take this out on the crew, this is weather. He says, if anything, he says, this is my decision, not their decision. So be upset with me, was basically what he said.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
but we have to say, I mean, Princess has looked after us so well. We've weathered the storm, and maybe there'll be more ahead. We still have quite a few days here, but the staff, the crew, everybody has just been overwhelmingly helpful. I mean, I was so amazed at how fast we got an updated schedule as to what was going to be happening, and it was full of events for people to do. The dining room was open for lunch, and all of a sudden the chefs are cooking a whole bunch more food than what they had thought they were going to need, and all of that sort of thing. Anyways, and the service and morale of everybody just seemed to go really well, in our opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And we always say that we love being on a cruise ship. We could get on a cruise ship and go 22 days to nowhere and be happy because we love cruising. So we want to see exotic new destinations, of course, and we were disappointed. But we are safe, we are happy. The ship rode through the storm miraculously well.
We just think, well, I guess it means we have to come back and do the ports that we missed.
Yeah, and I think cabin selection is key here.
Yes.
We deliberately chose months ago before booking this, we wanted to be, the boat just wiggled.
The camera moved and everything.
And we wanted to be midship, down low, in case we had any weather. We had some weather, and we barely noticed that anything was going on outside.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of caught up to now. We've made it into Messina early.
Yes.
And there is weather coming tomorrow night, and it's supposed to be very, very strong south winds coming tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be able to get the ship out of harbor tomorrow and get going, because we go to Naples next.
Yes.
And after that, we're supposed to get into Rome, which is actually the end of the 11-day segment of this cruise for some people.
That's right.
We're on for another 11 days after that.
For sure.
So that is the update. So I know there's a lot of chatter on the internet, and people want to know how it's going, and storms, and there's other cruise ships that have been out there stuck at sea that haven't been able to get to port. Others that have missed their calls, had to start late. We are kind of grouped into that whole thing, but in the best interest of safety, we rode it out. We had a great time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had a wonderful time on the cruise ship. So, and like I said, the captain, the crew, everybody treated everybody spectacularly, and it's all went really well. So some people thought maybe we're having the vacation wasn't the vacation of a dream that we had hoped for. But reality, I think we have 17 or 18 stops on this 22-day adventure. If we miss a couple,
it's okay.
That's not the end of the world.
Right.
We've been to Florence before. As much as we love it, but at least we saw it last year. Kotor was a little more disappointing because we haven't never been to Kotor.
Right, and we hear that it's just the most beautiful. Like, how many people messaged us when we posted saying that we missed that port, and we had so many people message us saying too bad because that's their favorite port to call. And so we were disappointed by that one for sure, but that'll just give us an excuse to do it again for sure. So do you want to get to some comments?
I will. I'll get to the comments, and I can see them with my glasses on, but I'm going to say.
I was just going to say, I might need to put my glasses on. We're just reading off of a little tiny tablet right now to see some comments. So anyways.
Okay, so I'll just start just about anywhere here, maybe work our way up.
Okay.
Someone's saying where we are heading to next. I think Lucy and Glenn. So yes, we are heading Naples and then Rome, and then after that, we're going to be back at sea for a couple of days, and we're heading to Greece, and our first stop will be Santorini.
That's right. So we're hoping the weather has done its damage, and the rest of the cruise will be smooth sailing, as they say. Who knows?
And it seems that the farther north we get towards mainland Europe, the worse the weather gets with these systems coming through, and the farther south we are, the more sunny, warm, and calm the seas are. So,
right.
So we're the next leg once we get out of Rome and head south again, and then a little bit farther east. Hopefully that'll be calm seas. We've done our duties with the heavy seas. So, okay, let's see. What do we got here? I'm gonna take my glasses off. I'm gonna say here. Loving the outfits for Gold Night.
Oh, thank you. Oh, the necklace, by the way, I just picked up at port yesterday when we were in Corfu. Did I say it right?
Yep, Corfu.
Corfu. See, I say them all wrong. Corfu, Greece. Yeah, I thought this will add a little bit of white and gold elements to my outfit tonight. So yeah, that worked out nice. A little bit of shopping was had.
Yep.
We had a great time there.
Yeah, Dave is saying that good to see you again, but you're not on the Sky Princess, so.
No, well, it's pretty darn close, Dave. There's a lot of similarities between the Enchanted Princess and the Sky Princess.
Yes, there is.
Few changes, but
although there are some new venues that we've been checking out, and you're going to see those in our vlogs when they come out when we get home in mid-November. You'll start seeing the new vlogs.
That's right.
There is the O'Malley's Pub that we've been to.
Yes.
And there is also the Catch by Rudy.
Yes.
We were there last night.
Just had dinner there last night. Really, really yummy.
Yep. And there's also a Crooner's Bar. Princess has brought that back for this ship compared to the Sky Princess. So that's an additional venue, and it's bigger than the Crooner's Bar on Caribbean Princess. So we've been able to get in there and enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. And the singer there has just been great. Colin's been entertaining us all week. Very talented man. The entertainment on the cruise has been staffed. The live entertainment, they've been great everywhere we've gone. The funny thing about this is this is day 7, 8? Answer me.
Yep, 8.
Thank you.
Talk that direction.
Day 8 of the cruise, and last night was the first production show. So day 7 of the cruise was the first production show. So we thought that was a little strange. We've never been on a cruise, so you haven't had a production show earlier in it than that. But they have been having entertainment there. A lot of like guest performers, singers. We had a Celine Dion impersonator. I'm trying to think of a few other ones. We had an Italian singer on. We had a Spanish couple out of Barcelona. But anyway, so the entertainment's been wonderful, which has kept us going through all of our sea days.
That made me think of something else. Entertainment. Yeah, and last night was Five Skies, one of Princess's production shows. And I always argue that is the best production show I've seen on a cruise ship in years and years. And it didn't disappoint last night. It was wonderful again. So what are you drinking, by the way?
Oh, by the way, yeah, I was just going to say, Brenda recommended that I try the sidecar. This is the sidecar from, Crown Girl Bar that is generally, this is the first time I've had it given to me served in a champagne glass. It's usually in a martini glass, but I got a champagne glass tonight.
Penny is saying hi from Texas. She says that they're having my favorite dinner there. They're having mashed potatoes and meatloaf tonight. I have been talking to our waiter. Yudi is his name. He's been doing a wonderful job. And I keep bugging him about the meatloaf because it has been on the menu. Even he said to me, he says, usually last day of the cruise is meatloaf. But I've seen it nowhere in the online menu, so I'm hoping that we do get some. So,
but this isn't a traditional type cruise menu because it's not doing a 7-day run, right? When it's an 11 and an 11-day. So the menu's definitely been different than what we have been used to, different selections. But tonight, Golden White Night, I just had land and sea, which was filet mignon and lobster tail in the main dining room, no charge whatsoever. There is a $10 charge if you want to order a second plate of that. And our waiter said to me when Mr. Canuck didn't order it, he said to me, Miss Jill, I can get you a second one if you like because your husband didn't order one. But I didn't. I only needed one for sure. But yeah, the food's been great.
And Louise is mentioning about Santorini's. We have not been to Santorini's yet, but the plan is that we're going to get there next. On our next 11-day run, we're going to do Santorini's at least once. So
yeah,
for someone like me that eats vegetables, doesn't eat red meat, doesn't eat seafood, had a couple rough nights at the Catch by Rudy and at the Crown Grill that we ate earlier in the week. So I found some halibut and some sea bass was my options to have.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to Santorini's. and having some Italian. So yes.
Yes.
There was one night that there was a monstrous meatball available as a appetizer. Where was that? That was in the main dining
That
room.
was the main dining room.
Yeah, that was an appetizer. So I definitely had the monstrous meatball, as you can imagine. If I had a couple of those together, it'd be like my own meatloaf. It was so huge. Oh, so what else we got here? Someone's saying that they had the Celine impersonator on the Enchanted. And she's amazing. Yeah, she was really good. She's actually British, but she comes on and does an act with a French Canadian accent. So at the first part of the show, we wondered what was going on. That is she really French Canadian? And then she broke out of character and used her British, accent.
Yeah, her real voice. Yeah, it was kind of shocking.
Update on the Crown Royal. Some of you may want to know about the Crown Royal. We have not found Crown Royal available at the bar.
Only in the gift shop.
Gift shop only. Yeah.
No Crown Royal on board still. So.
And Kylie is saying, love Genoa, Cinque Terre. So our plan, in Genoa, what we ended up doing was we thought we would see an ambulance or police go by or something there.
Oh, there's a couple of police, yeah.
And we were thinking of going to, Cinque Terre, but we ended up just touring around Genoa and had a great day, actually. Some of you might have saw some of our Instagram posts about that. Our plan was when we thought we heard we were going to La Spezia instead of Livorno, we thought, well, that's very close. We could hop on the Cinque Terre train and go up and see the communities there on the coast. But that got canceled, so we didn't ever get to Cinque Terre. So again, that's going to have to go back on the bucket list for a future cruise.
Yeah, for sure. We're already rewriting what we need to do next time we get to the Mediterranean. I think it was Kylie that mentioned on our Discord that maybe it sounds like we need to do our next group cruise over in the Mediterranean and try to pick up all the missed ports that we had on this trip. And that sounds like a lovely idea to me, for sure.
Okay, a couple of comments there. People saying that we're cutting out a little bit here and there, so hopefully we're in more than we're out.
Yeah, let's hope.
And so, what are our plans moving forward? We are in Naples. We're still divided. I think we're going to try to get to Capri. Mrs. Canuck is dying to get on that gondola.
In Santorini?
Oh, that's Santorini, but they also have one in Capri.
Yeah.
And I think it's a
I'm not doing two.
Gondola for one person at a time, I think.
Oh my gosh, there's no way that that's happening. I mean, I might have to do the one in Santorini just because what other options do I have, right? I'm not going to ride a donkey. And so, but I don't know. There might have to be, I might have to put some vodka in my water bottle that day or something to get me wanting to go up there. I'm not going to enjoy it. I can tell you that right now.
Something else we should point out, there's probably a few people watching that are going to be on our group cruise in February.
Yes.
And it'll be on this ship here.
Yes.
And this little secret spot that we're actually broadcasting from tonight is our secret spot, so we're not going to tell you where it is. Very few people find this little spot. It's kind of tucked away, and it's just gorgeous here. You can see all around the railings. There's no glass barricades like there is a lot of the upper parts of the ship.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like the old days of cruising where you just kind of lean over the railing and the ocean's right there. So
Yeah, it's been beautiful here.
it has been. So just trying to see here. Penny wants to know how No Princess Plus is going. So we have a few things that have been gifted to us by Princess. We've been able to try some things that we wouldn't be able to try if we would have just had the standard, which is nice. Princess allowed us to actually have internet so we could stay in touch with all of you, and gifted us also some specialty dining. So we've had access to a few extra things that we didn't expect. So thank you to Princess for that. And so far we're having a good time. And as you can see, the drinks have been okay. We actually bought, you can buy cases of water. We bought a couple cases of water before we arrived on the ship. So that was available. So we didn't have to worry about trying to buy water, that type of thing.
Right.
And we did get on 4 bottles of wine.
And when you get to port, you can bring on more wine. So that's been helpful. The other thing is too, with being elite and their elite lounge, you can get discounts on cocktails there. And so that's been helpful too. So it's all been working out.
So I'm trying to think what else we have done that we can update people on with the Enchanted Princess that's different. It is Halloween coming up in a couple days.
So we woke up this morning and saw, for a while there, I'm like, I don't know if they're really going to do much for Halloween on this ship. It seems like there isn't a whole lot geared to that. But today we woke up and Halloween exploded all over the ship last night. The atrium, or the piazza, I should say, fully decorated. Everywhere you go on the ship, it's decorated. All over the place. There's Halloween stuff everywhere. So that all happened today, we noticed when we woke up this morning and started touring around the ship.
Are you guys dressing up?
For Halloween.
Oh, for Halloween. We might have brought some costumes.
there might be a surprise there for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did see a comment there. Someone said that they wanted to see more of your gold dress and where you got it from. So I don't know if you can back up and they can see you more.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I might run out of deck space. Can
Hold on.
you?
I'll turn
can
the
you
camera.
turn it? There you go. Here's my dress.
They can't see it from the back.
There's not. There's the back. It's not much. It's just plain in the back. And I just ordered it online. Yeah, it was just like, I need a gold dress. So let's give this a try.
Let's show them the rest of the port here. The moon.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can see the moon tonight, but there is a moon behind us as we're talking to you. Mm-hmm. We'll turn it around a little bit. They've got the harbor here. Just to the there. That's where we're going to go out tomorrow and go north. And is the moon showing? No.
Yeah, can you see it all the way up there?
I don't know, without tipping the table over. No.
You might have to. Oh, it's above the deck a bit low where you can angle. I can see the moon. It's lovely out there right now. Yeah.
Oh, get back to my questions here.
So, the other thing a lot of people have asked us about has been inside cabin 22 days. How is that working for you? So I can talk on that a little bit while Jerry's trying to find next questions. If you have a question, please type the word question so he can see it easier because it's pretty hard. Oh, okay. Anyways, what I was just going to say is we've been absolutely happy with our cabin. Again, the reason why I love this style of princess ship is that they're 22 days. You know, I brought some luggage. So the closet's full, but it's lots of space, and it's not in the middle of where you're sleeping, and the desk area, makeup area, whatever you want to refer to it as, is very large and spacious. And so it's all been working out really well. We have a little bar set up in the corner of the room with the wine that we have every day, and then a makeup area and a / desk area that Jerry works at every now and then. But it's been working out really well. I mean, I thought maybe when we were doing the 4 days in a row with the sea days that maybe we'd be missing not having a window, not having a balcony. But we've been finding no problems getting lounge chairs whenever we want to go. And like we talked about earlier, this little deck here on deck 7, it's just one deck below where our room is. I'm telling you where the secret spot is. Anyways, just one deck below us, and it's a short walk away to get out and be in a nice quiet area.
It's like our own personal balcony. There's usually only about 6 deck chairs out here, and they're spread out so much so you don't even see anyone else when you're out here.
Yeah.
So 4 sea days in a row and being on inside cabin was a nice test, and we didn't have any problem with it. It was wonderful. Yeah, I don't even notice it. Put the bow cam on in the morning if you want to see what it's like outside, and that works really well. You can't feel the temperature, but you at least get an idea what it looks like outside. And what else about the inside cabin? That's been fine. It's got, on the TV, has Love Boat, so that makes it just even better.
He's happy.
Love Boat's always going in the background if I'm in the cabin, so that's always important.
I'm always turning it off.
And favorite spots on the ship so far? I don't know, up top we have not been to the sanctuary yet.
No, we haven't. But we have gone to the retreat pool quite a bit. In the pool, but also in the hot tubs, one deck above the retreat pool, which would be deck 17. Is that right?
Yep.
Anyway, so the hot tub's up there, and there's been plenty of deck space, deck chairs up there. We haven't had to worry about not being able to find a seat anywhere. Yesterday we were swimming in the pool. We were so hot when we got back from port that day that we jumped right into the retreat pool there, and there was a bartender there, and it was all set up nice and lots of deck space, so it was beautiful. So yeah, we've been using a lot of the different areas of the ship, but I think maybe one of the places that we're using more on this cruise than we have any other time on the Princess has been the Crown Girl Lounge and Bar. We really like the guitar player David that has been playing out of there, and there's a couple other acts that take turns out of there too. But that's just been a lovely place to sit and relax and watch all the people go by, but also listen to great music. So that's been maybe a new hangout spot for us, and of course Crooner's Bar also. Are you dancing? Somebody's got loud music driving by on the street behind us. Mr. Canuck has to dance to it.
James and Kimmy have a question for you.
Okay.
And it says, what type of activities are they having for the unexpected sea days?
So there's a...
And
oh, okay.
does the ship have the Love Boat horn, and have they had a fashion show? 3 questions.
Okay, have not seen a fashion show. I can tell you that. I've been keeping my eye out on that because I know, Kimmy Cat, you had mentioned that before, so I was trying to check that out, but I haven't seen that on any of the schedules. There has been a lot of game shows in the Princess Live Theater. There's a lot of what I've noticed on those sort of unexpected sea days. They were doing a lot of things in the piazza that involved officers and crew, and they were doing a lot of like passengers playing games against the crews and competitions and just sort of having fun. And I have to say the staff, the crew, the officers, they have been out mingling and talking to people more on this ship than I've seen on any cruise ship. And I don't know if it's just because we've been having these extra days and they're trying to be upbeat and keep spirits up and guest relations, but you can't go anywhere without an officer coming and talking to you. And sometimes you see them sitting down and having a chat with a couple, but they've been involved in game shows and all different things like that. They've also been doing movies. So yesterday on the sea day, we went to the Vista Lounge. I mean, they have movies under the stars. They have them outside and they have them in the evening. But yesterday morning, they had one in the Vista Lounge. So we snuggled into a nice sofa in there and watched a movie. And then even in that evening, I guess it must have been a day of movies because we went up top and watched a movie under the stars in the evening. So there's, sorry?
No, I'm just going to say a little Johnny Cash.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, did I answer all of their questions? You had 3 there. Did I get them all?
I think so.
Okay, I'm not sure. You want to keep going?
Yeah, and you'll have to tell Kimmy Cat that we found a nice, at least I found a nice little snuggly cat.
Oh.
Yes, when we were in Corfu.
Yes.
There's a lot of cats that wander around the city there, and I just saw one by, actually, Miss Canucks saw one by a motorbike, and I kind of did the universal call for every animal.
And he came running right over to us.
Yep. Yeah, so we met this little Greek kitty cat. Yes. I wish I had some food or something to feed him. We had just finished trying the Greek liquor called kumquat.
Have you ever heard of that before, guys? We had never heard about it. The other thing I should talk about that Princess has been doing that we really like is in the Princess Theater every day, they have a gentleman by the name of Ken Broadbank. Am I right? Something like that. Anyways, he is a travel expert, a port expert, and he goes and he talks about what to see at each port. And it's not like, we've been to these sort of things on other cruise lines where they've just sort of been like sales pitches for excursions. It's not that at all. He talks about the history of the port, what some of the famous landmarks are, and also the local cuisine and things that he's recommended, that he's traveled this area extensively. And so he was the one that recommended that you have to have this particular liquor when you're in Greece. So we tried that yesterday. Mr. Canuck loved it. Drank it up real quick, didn't you?
Yeah, it kind of tastes like orange. It's
orange.
The closest thing I can compare it to. Yeah, it was
well,
sweet.
I would say it's kind of like a limoncello, but it's got the orange flavor. But it seemed to me like it was the same idea as a limoncello, but it was an orange flavor.
And
that's what I would describe it as.
And the chicken souvlaki at the little cafe was phenomenal.
Yeah, we had a wonderful lunch.
And Kelly has a question for you. Mm-hmm. If you're going next fall to the Med, would you go earlier in September?
Before the weather
and
changes.
also for a 50th anniversary.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, go ahead.
You're going to answer the weather questions?
No, you go. I was just going to say that the captain basically said that when he came to the dinner, the captain's platinum or elite party that he had. He said something about, I don't know why we're still here in October and into November, that the weather can be like this, and we should be in the Caribbean by now. He jokingly said it. So I don't know, maybe September is the better month to do it. We wanted to do it this time of year thinking that it wouldn't be so sweltering hot like we were when we were here in August last year. It's still pretty hot, I have to say. We were quite warm walking around yesterday, weren't we? Keep going.
No, you don't need me to talk about weather. You're to talk about everything. So basically what we found out is from talking to people is that really when the weather turned on us at this cruise, that was the first big round of bad weather really that kind of hit this area this fall. So like I would say even early October you're probably safe. Just when you get past the Canadian Thanksgiving in mid-October, you're probably getting into a little more risky situation like we're going through now. But you do get pockets of good weather in between the storms that come and go. So, right. And you can get that on any cruise, tell you the truth. So we had Caribbean cruises before where we had 5 days of rain on a 7-day cruise. So
Yeah, that's true.
It
we
happens.
have had done that.
Yeah, and the good thing is the ship moves, so you can get away from the weather. So the captain took us away from that bad weather, and I guess that's the good thing. Bad that you miss sports, good that you're safe and having a good time on a beautiful cruise ship like this. Another question here, what kind of carry-on luggage do you use?
We have Level 8 luggage. That is actually Level 8 is the one that is sponsoring our contest for the secret word. Anyways, they have given us carry-on suitcases that we use, which we absolutely love. And so when they reached out to us quite a while ago now and asked if we would be interested in trying out their luggage. And we liked it so much that when they reached out and asked us what we thought, we said we really like it. We would like you to sponsor our secret letter word so that our followers has a chance of trying this luggage out themselves. So we've been really happy with Level 8, and they have agreed to be the sponsor for the secret letter. Oh, he's got a letter in his hand, guys.
This is today's secret letter, but you can't see what the letter is.
We have to go hide it after this.
Don't tell them that. They'll
Or
know what
maybe it's already been hidden during dinner.
Oh, and as far as the Level 8 luggage goes, we have a lot of people that kind of contact us, want to know whether or not we'll affiliate or do something with their products, and we're really, really very picky about it. And one of the things that
I think I turned down around 8 different companies in the last week.
Level 8 luggage, we absolutely love it. We go through the airports, it's like you can use your little baby finger to roll the thing all the way through the airport. It's just amazing that, I don't know what they do to make it roll so easy, and it's solid. It gets beaten up, and it still looks fantastic. So
if you are interested in looking at it, we do have a discount code through us, Cruising Canucks 10, which I think will give you a 10% discount on it. I think you have a link on some of our videos for it, right?
I think so. Question, have there been instances of standing room only at the Princess Live? We found the trivia and games were often packed when they were on board.
Absolutely, yeah. That is definitely a case. We have walked by there quite a few times and seen people can't get a seat, and they're all crowded around that whole area, and just even to walk through that area for us to say try to get to the Crown Grill bar, it's near impossible. That is probably the busiest spot on the ship. Not quite sure why they don't use the Vista Lounge, which might be a little bit bigger for these things. I'm not sure, but it does definitely fill up fast. There have been some times we've gone by that you can't get anywhere near it. They've been doing a lot of bingo there. Today, bingo was going on there, and it was that way for sure at that point.
And question is, have you gone to afternoon tea yet?
We did do that. We did that on one of the sea days, unexpected sea days. Not only did they open up the dining room for lunch, but they also opened it up for tea time. So we went and did afternoon tea time, and we really enjoyed it. The scones were warm, fresh out of the oven when they served them to us. They were delicious.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than Holland America that does tea time, where they have a whole tower of sweet and savory and that type of thing. That it's they bring around trays and you choose what you want. So I guess that's good. You don't feel obligated to eat so much, especially at 3 o'clock just before going for dinner in a couple more hours.
Yeah, I love the presentation of the classic tower, of all the different things. It looks beautiful for pictures and all of that sort of thing. But then I always have to feel like I have to eat food that I don't want. Whereas the way Princess does it, they came over with all kinds of different cookies and squares and fancy desserts. And I said, no, thank you. I'm just here for the scones. And so I just waited till they came with the scones and just ate the scones, which was great. You're putting their iPad right in the camera. All everybody's seen is the iPad.
Warren has a follow-up question saying, before the Level 8 luggage, what did we buy? And that was a horror story, because we would really just go and buy the cheapest luggage we could find. That the goal was spend as little as much, because we thought luggage gets destroyed anyways. Why spend any money on it? That was our approach. And as a result, we replaced luggage after luggage with broken wheels, luggage with holes punched in it, rips, zippers ripped off. Yeah,
we had really bad luck. So I guess maybe it was a good timing on Level 8 time. I don't know if they noticed, but our first set of vlogs, I think I commented, because we did 3 cruises, and every cruise I had to buy a new suitcase because one got destroyed from the airlines. And I guess part of our fault, because I know that I found out later that if I followed up while in the airport with it, not post taking it out of the airport, then sometimes you can get I can't even get the word out. Compensated.
Compensated?
Thank you. Yeah. Compensated for the broken luggage. But when I looked into it with our airline carrier, I had already left the airport because we landed at 12:30 at night, just went to the hotel room, called to deal with it on another day, and they said they couldn't do anything because I didn't deal with it while I was at the airport.
Question from Julie wants to know how your eSIM is working out with Orange. So
That's what we're doing our live with right now.
we are, yes. And we've got only a bar or two right now, but it is connected. We are through the SIM card on our cell phone, so this is not the ship's Wi-Fi.
Right.
We thought it was a little bit faster when we tested it, so that's why we're using the eSIM right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we haven't had a chance to use it as much as we wanted to because we had a couple extra days at sea. It doesn't work very well at sea.
The only big challenge we've had about it, and it's not anything to do with the eSIM, it's just sometimes when you're in these little cobbly, narrow streets in the villages, and the buildings are so big, and you're in these little tunnels, you lose all internet service until you get out into a piazza or a square where it can figure out where you are. So we were using it for like mapping and that, and so every now and then we just sort of had to get out of the little alleyway walkways we were and find a bigger area to get cell service.
If you can hear some rumbling back there, there's a ferry that's just coming in right now, so that's what's making the noise. And do you use cruise insurance for your luggage damage? We never have. We do have insurance that would probably cover that, or would cover that, I'm sure. The problem is when the insurance company goes through that process of trying to find out what kind of luggage you had and how much it cost and the details on it. We had no idea the name brand, what it looked like, anything else.
Well, I knew the name brand because we had it there, but I hadn't really ever kept receipts and that. Generally, I was just buying luggage through Winners or TJ Maxx or something like that. So, yeah, probably an us issue. We weren't keeping track of it as well as some people could.
Jack wants to know what type of cabin you booked. So we did talk about that a little bit. We have an inside cabin. We were on deck 8, midship. Our cabin is actually right above the piazza,
which I wouldn't recommend. That would be my only thing is next time we book, I wouldn't book right over top of the piazza, just because if you do want to go to bed before the late night dance parties going on, then you're going to hear the music. So I did notice it the first night or two. It seems to be quieter since then. I mean, we don't go to bed early. We're going back to our cabins around 11 o'clock. And by the time we get to bed, it's after midnight every night. So it's not a big deal for us. But if you want to go to bed at 10 o'clock, don't book right over top of the piazza because there is a lot of late night dance parties there.
Someone has a question about the International Cafe. Has it been busy in the morning?
Yes. So here's a little pro tip. If you want to go for a specialty coffee, at 7 a.m. most mornings, the Princess Live bar is open for serving cappuccinos and whatever type of specialty coffee you want there, and there's hardly anybody there. And so for us, that's just one deck below our room. I'll walk down there and go. Now today I got there and it was 5 minutes before opening, and so the lady there said, "Oh, you have to go to the International Cafe. I'm not open yet." And I said, "Oh, I'll just wait till you're open." But then I thought, well, maybe she doesn't want to feel pressured. So I went to the International Cafe, got in line. There was around 8 people in front of me. And I thought, well, that's not too bad. But then I realized that there was also around 50 people in different chairs that were giving orders to waiters. And so I stood there for 5 or 10 minutes and the line didn't move. So I walked back upstairs to the to the Princess Live and got my coffee within a minute. So that would be my pro tip. I try to avoid it first thing in the morning. It hasn't been busy any other time of day, but first thing in the morning is pretty busy.
Yeah. I guess one more thing that we've noticed that's different on this cruise and other cruises has been, you always have those port talks that go on before you get to your port. We've seen this for 39 cruises before now. And the majority of the time they're all about where to go shopping when you get to port, right?
I did talk about all this.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I missed it when I was reading this. So yeah, Ken Broadhurst has been amazing.
Broadhurst.
Yes, that's the name. And every time we see him now, we're like, okay, we're going to listen to what he has to say, because he actually even says, if you're going to get off and just walk around and do your own thing, here's how you do it.
Yeah.
And it's not just what the excursions are all about. So that's really helpful.
I was just going to say, he'll talk to you about getting local buses or local taxis or whatever way you want to do it, not having to book through a princess excursion, right?
And I'm trying to think what else we've done and haven't done yet. So I haven't done the sanctuary. We haven't done the spa yet, although we will be doing a day at the spa. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that Princess has offered, that we can go and give it a try and film it and show you what the spa is like.
Right.
So we're looking forward to do that. Mm-hmm. And what did we do in Messina was the question that just came up. Our boat is banging against the dock right now.
The wind's coming up.
It needs a ship. So we have not touched land right here yet today.
No, we just got here. We just docked here right at dinner time, 6 p.m. And so we had dinner and we're out here doing the live right now. But we're staying overnight and we're going to have all day tomorrow to explore.
Yes, it's supposed to get windy tomorrow, but the weather's supposed to be okay. So we're going to get off and poke around. I see there's a big church at the top of the hill way off in the background there. I might have to hike all the way up there.
You will?
We've been averaging about 15 to 20,000 steps at least when we do reach a port. So we've been walking lots.
We did more in Barcelona before we got on the cruise for sure.
Someone asked when they'll be parasailing over the Med.
No, our insurance will not cover parasailing. We looked into it because one of our followers said you need to look into your life insurance and your travel insurance if you do it. And
The problem is when you're having 50 to 65 knot winds, parasailing in the Med means you end up somewhere in Africa. So I don't have a way home from Africa, so I just simply can't parasail right now.
there you go.
That's the best answer I've got. And I think that's all we've got so far for questions. I'm trying to think what else has been going on the ship. People always want to know what food's like, which is very subjective. I have noticed the menu has been different than what it was when we were on the Sky Princess in the Mediterranean. So I'm not sure if that's a ship difference or whether that's because they're in Europe that the menu's different or they have different access to different types of meats. I've noticed less chicken and less red meat, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. There's been a lot of fish and pasta and those sort of options, but I would agree with Jerry that, I mean, they still have their everyday menu that you can choose from, which is salmon. Is there a chicken in the everyday menu? I know there's a sirloin steak or a strip loin steak, something like that. There's 3 or 4 regular ones, but when you look at the menu that changes every day, with the exception of formal nights, I don't think there's been a red meat option. And chicken, not too much. Turkey, twice. Jerry's had turkey already in this cruise. So that seems to be showing up a little bit more. Their buffet has been phenomenal. We went up to the buffet, was it yesterday for lunch now? One of the days that we just went up to grab something, and to my glorious surprise, there was a whole wall of the buffet full of fresh seafood. So they had like chilled shrimp, they had garlic pan-fried shrimp, you name it, there was all kinds of seafood there and different types of fish. It was wonderful at the buffet for me. I loved it. Beautiful fresh seafood everywhere.
No chicken nuggets on the buffet so far, so I'm disappointed with that.
But what they do have is chicken fingers. What? You want to tell them?
I'm not allowed to talk.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I did find chicken nuggets, however, at the Elite and Platinum Lounge one night.
Oh, that's
so
true.
pre-dinner snacks. They're huge chicken nuggets, but there was chicken nuggets there. It's the only place I've seen them so far. And someone asked a question about the Salty Dog Grill or Gastro Pub, and there was some confusion there. I see in the comments there that someone had corrected. So Enchanted has the Salty Dog Grill, which is
Yes.
up on the Lido deck.
Yes.
But instead of having the Gastro Pub, they have O'Malley's Pub, I think is the difference on this ship.
Yes.
So yes, and we've only been to O'Malley's for a appetizer and a drink. We didn't have a full meal there yet.
Right.
And you can buy things a la carte there.
Yeah, you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Unless you have the special package,
Platinum,
right?
Platinum.
Premium?
Plus can go there, I think, twice in a cruise,
okay.
and Premium can go there all they want, type of thing.
Right.
So, and as far as the Salty Dog Grill, the burgers have been fantastic. We've been really, really happy with the burgers up there.
Yeah, I would agree.
We've had them a few times now. We liked them so much. And also the pizza's up there. So Alfredo's Pizza is up on the Lido deck on this ship, on Enchanted Princess, whereas Gigi's is the dedicated Italian pizzeria that is near the piazza.
Right.
So we did have some pizza there as part of our progressive dinner one night. We did do a progressive dinner where we went to a couple of different spots and had appetizers, mains, and desserts at different spots around the ship.
Yeah.
And someone is saying, question, back to back. Another chance to have meatloaf on the second half. Our suspicion is that this is being treated like an 11-day. So we're suspecting that the menus and the entertainment might repeat next time around. So we're going to wait and see. If that's the case, I'm not going to get any meatloaf at all.
Yeah, well, you still might get it on the 11th day of the cruise. We haven't had our last day yet.
It could still be coming my way.
He just needs to be patient, right?
Well, and I keep asking my waiter, and maybe if I'm persistent enough, the chef will come out with my own meatloaf. We were on a galley tour today.
We were.
We were able to go to a cooking presentation demonstration in the main theater, which was really good. And then after they finished that, it said in the program, it said cooking demonstration and galley tour. And we thought that main theater holds like 1,000 people, I think.
I would say the theater was at least 80% full for this event. And at the very end of it, they said, if you would like to go for a galley tour, please follow the waiters at the top of the stairs and they will lead you to the galley. And all of a sudden, 1,000 people went from the bow of the ship all the way to the aft of the ship for the galley. And we had a walk through there, and there were chefs there. There were, they had displays of different foods there. It was beautiful, and it was well done, and like it went seamless how fast they moved everybody through there. And there wasn't like, I thought, oh my gosh, this might be ridiculous, we're gonna wait in line for an hour or so to get through this. But no, it really wasn't that way at all.
And one thing they did that was really interesting is they had a theme. They had all the different types of dishes they make on the ship made out of potatoes. And throughout this entire galley tour, there had to be at least 50 different dishes of different types of potatoes that they had. You name it, they had every type of potato. It was remarkable. And I'm not talking like type of potato that you cook. I'm talking about how you prepare potatoes, whether it was mashed or scalloped or you name it. So French fries, whatever. But there was at least 50. I should have counted them. I didn't. I filmed them all, but I didn't count them. I did see scallop potatoes there, so I'm hoping to find those in the menu somewhere. So I have to keep an eye out for the scallop potatoes, which are my favorite. But I did not see any meatloaf in the galley, so we're still working on that.
Right.
Yep. And someone wants to know if Gigi's been crowded. I guess if we're being honest, it looks like Gigi's is pretty quiet. It looks like it's busier at lunchtime.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, a couple of the sea days we saw it almost full, like probably 70%, maybe 80% full. There's never been a lineup, and there's the majority of the time we walk by and there's generally only 1 or 2 tables being used. But lunchtime on the sea days has been, they've been full or
fairly busy, yeah?
Busy enough.
Yeah, where it seems quieter in dinner time for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone says, regardless of the weather in the Med, it's not snow.
That's right.
That's right, because back home where we are, tonight and into tomorrow, it looks like the Sault Ste. Marie area is probably going to get some snow. And we're not going to be there. We're going to be, instead, we are going to be here in Sicily. So,
I just saw a question pop up about mixology lessons, and yes, I've seen that at least 3 times so far as events going on in the piazza. And we walked by at one point when they were set up. I think our pool is shrinking on us a bit. Anyways, they are doing that. It's what are you doing?
I'm saying nothing. Keep going.
In the piazza. I don't know, but yes, it's been there a few times.
There, it's up higher now.
Okay.
We don't have to go like this anymore. Oh, you messed up my train of thought now for sure.
Oh, sorry.
Someone says they heard it was 150 different versions of potatoes.
Yeah,
Could have
that's
been.
probably a good estimate. We didn't count them. We might have to watch the film that we took and look at it, because it just got too much of the potatoes. I was busy looking at other things, but it was a lot for sure.
James and Canucks are asking if you're going to be porting, if we're going to be going to Mykonos in Greece.
Yes, we are scheduled to go to Mykonos. I will say scheduled every time now after the week we just had, but yes, that is supposed to be happening. We're quite looking forward to it.
And I guess weather-wise too, one thing we wanted to talk about, so we've talked about the stormy weather, but what we didn't talk about, we kind of touched on it, but we had heard before we came here that we should dress, like bring warmer clothes. It's going to be cool in Europe this time of year. When it hasn't been a sea day where it's been windy at port, it's been warm, like hot. Like it's funny, we've been laughing because we feel like we're doing Alaska. We're doing Alaska again in a way, because we see people getting off in puffer jackets and toques and mitts, and we're getting off in like t-shirts and shorts, and we are hot as we're hiking around. Yeah. So the weather has been fantastic when it hasn't been affecting our porting opportunities. So like tonight in Messina, I'm a little bit hot here in a shirt and a tie. I think it's about 21, 22 degrees. So that's about 70, 75 tonight. It's just perfect tonight. So yeah, even a little bit humid. So better than the snow back at home.
For sure.
Let's see.
At home, really? Is there really snow? Not on the ground.
Not on the ground, but there might be some on the ground by late tomorrow night into Tuesday morning. So that's the plan. Another thing, so we always find that 7-day cruises are way too short. So we're 8 days in now. And it's kind of nice because I said the other day, I think it was yesterday, I said, if we were on a normal cruise, we would have been packing by now.
Yeah.
And to not have that worry or stress, you always worry, you start counting down the end of the cruise, think it's getting closer. We hadn't even thought about the end of the cruise. So that's kind of an amazing feeling. No, we're just going to keep on cruising around the Med.
I think that's also been very helpful with us missing the 2 ports, right? Because if you're only on a 7-day cruise and you miss 2 ports, that might mean you're only getting in 1 port. So at least for us, we have the mindset of, well, we still have lots of ports to come, so it should be okay.
And as far as the demographics on this cruise, I would say there's a healthy mix of people just doing the 11 days with us and then doing also the 22. We've talked to quite a few that are doing 22.
Yeah.
And also there is probably more Canadians on this cruise than we've ever seen.
That's for sure.
So that's been kind of interesting.
A lot of people from Australia too. We've met a lot of people from Australia. Some people from the UK. I mean, of course, the majority is still Americans on board.
And there are obviously still some Europeans as well. But yeah, when the cruise director mentioned the different countries and stuff on one of the first nights, I was amazed at how loud the Canadians were. There was a lot of Canadians.
In the main theater, yeah, we were shocked about it. And they said there were quite a few Canadians. Yeah.
And I'm just trying to see if there's any more questions coming in here. We're getting towards the end. I think we're running out of questions.
Oh, wow.
So, any big plans for the rest of the cruise? We're afraid to make plans in case things change, but I think you can't think of things that way. We're going to get to where we want to go.
It's so hard. So there was part of us, when we were going to Florence, the day before we left our house, I said to Jerry, should I book the tickets for Florence, the train tickets, because we were just going to take the train in on our own. I had it all priced out. I had the timeline. I was about to put the credit card in, and Jerry said, why don't we just wait until we get there and we'll book them on the fly. So thankful that he did that, because that just saved us quite a bit of money, right? So yeah, as much as there's been hundreds of people in line at the excursion desk, and we've avoided that because we hadn't booked any excursions. We were just planning on doing it all on our own and once we get to port. And so it's kind of worked out that we haven't had too many disruptions because of it, right?
Yeah, that's one of the advantages if you book an excursion with the cruise line.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. In fact, what they were going to do for the people that were supposed to go to Florence, they were still going to get them to Florence, but they're going to take them from La Spezia, a whole different port altogether, and they were going to figure that out. That's the nice thing about a cruise organized excursion. It never happened for them because that port was canceled too, but that was one advantage.
That was the plan.
Whereas if you book it yourself, you've got to adapt. You might lose some money if you pre-book things, so that's how that looks.
So anybody that had a Princess excursion booked, they got obviously their money refunded 100% for that. And so they weren't out money. So a lot of people were just trying to rebook for different ports, but nobody had to worry about not getting their money back. That was a given.
Yeah, so we don't have anything specifically booked as in prepaid for the rest of the cruise, but we do have plans for each of the ports. We're thinking Capri. We'll see if that happens in Naples when we get on the ground. Obviously, we get into Civitavecchia. That is the stop for Rome. We loved Rome last year, so as long as the weather holds, we'll be, hopefully getting to Rome is the plan.
Yeah, we plan on taking the train and getting into Rome.
Yep, and then we're going to be in Santorini. Of course, you know how beautiful that is. We're going to find some way to get up to the top part of Santorini and look around one way or the other. We'll see how that plays out. And we are going to Turkey. And in Turkey,
do have a booked excursion in Turkey.
Yes.
Not paid, but booked.
Yeah, a company called The Best of Emphasis contacted us and said, are you interested in doing a private custom tour? And they were going to take us to Ephesus. They were going to take us out for an authentic Turkish meal. And so we're going to be doing that in Turkey and show you what that all looks like. So that will be exciting and maybe a little bit scary because I'm not sure what Turkish food is exactly. Yep. And yeah, so that's what we've got kind of planned in our minds, but it could change based on weather and what we find out when we get to the port. So there was one port we went to where it wasn't a port actually, it was in Barcelona. 5-10 minutes before the actual tour began, we booked it. So we had to run there and join this walking tour within seconds. So sometimes we just figure things out on the fly, and so that's sometimes the fun for us.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but we've been having a great cruise, and it looks like we're getting close to the top of the hour. I'm just going to double check any last minute questions anybody has before we have still a night on the cruise ship to enjoy. There is a party going on in the main atrium.
There is?
Yes. And we'll be joining that very shortly because we can't go to our room because we're part of the party anyways because the
There's no point in going to bed early. You might as well join the party when it's right below where you're sleeping. So we will be in the piazza at some point with the party.
And for people on our group cruise, we did talk to the captain briefly the other night, and we asked him, saying, "Are you going to be the same?" Because he told us he was getting off the ship in a couple days.
In Naples.
In Naples.
We're supposed to be getting a new captain.
Yes, we're getting a new captain in Naples. And so we had asked him, "Are you going to be coming back to the Enchanted Princess once you're done your days off?" And he said yes, and he would be back by February for the group cruise. So we're going to have the exact same captain when we get back on in February.
Yeah, we gave him the warning that there might be some loud, crazy partiers joining him for that 10-day cruise. Just kidding.
Turkish food is great, is what I'm hearing.
Oh, good.
Okay, we'll call it there. I think we've bring you all the updates we can bring you.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's been exciting. It's been very unexpected, but we're having a fantastic time. Beautiful ship. Princess is treating us right.
Yes.
And we're having a fun time vlogging and saving it all up so you can see all of it when we get back home and start doing the editing. So you can expect to start to see those somewhere around November 12th to 15th, somewhere in there. We're going to have our first vlog out.
Yeah.
And then it's going to last quite a while into December as we're going to go every day, day by day, we're going to show you. So I just saw lots of people saying thank you and have a good cruise. So thanks everybody for joining us. It's kind of weird talking to everybody all the way across the world, all the way from Europe here. Yeah, it's hard to believe that behind us is Sicily and Italy. Yes, so it's kind of interesting. So, but we are heading to the party now. So have a good night, everybody, or have a good day, I guess, for those that are in North America. I forgot the sun's still up for you. And we will be talking to all of you.
Oh, hi.
When we get back.
Yes, hi, Helen.
Okay, thanks everybody for joining. We're going to log off and get out into the piazza for some fun. So see you later, everybody.
Bye.